Hey, we're live at the town hall in Western. Sun's just sinking down there. Gorgeous, gorgeous evening. So, this is the outside of the building here. Just the way some of it looks. I don't know if there are other towns that have this kind of stuff outside their town hall. I know it's an area that's not used, but they're saying they've got pretty good maintenance going on here. I don't know what good maintenance is, but I don't think this is good maintenance. I'd stick my finger right up in there, and they said there's no issues with the roof whatsoever. It's all been repaired. I can stick my whole hand in there, and that's rusted. Here's the bottom part. So this is pretty rusted, it's pretty bad. I'm looking up, here, if you want to look up here, you can see actual holes from animals, bats, other things going right in that soffit all the way around. There's a number, you can tell those are well-used holes right there. And that's right up on the peak of the roof. It's ready for a paint job, that's for sure. You can see that. I've also got, more peeling paint. Really bad peeling paint here. I don't think these doors have been weather stripped. I don't know. Gosh. Here, look on this side, it's all the same. And then when you go up here, you can see some really nasty stuff here. This is apparently an area where they said there was a leak and they took care of it, but as you can see, the edge of the metal, I mean, that metal isn't new or it isn't replaced. I don't know if they just put some tar up there to hold it. They may have. Not quite sure. I don't know what kind of a furnace we have in here. This is for the furnace. I'm not sure about that. But you can see the paint's pretty bad, maintenance-wise. Yeah. I mean, they definitely don't want to do anything with this. And that's a crying shame, it really is. Because it is a historic building, and regardless, or save it, it's still got to be repaired. So why wouldn't you repair it before it gets to this point? And that's our concern. Everything that we've looked at says that these folks are going to go ahead and repair this building or renovate it anyways. So why not just renovate it and use it instead of renovate it and spend $2.5 million on a new building? I think this is fine. It works perfect. We've got a huge building upstairs. Huge room. It's got to be, how big is that up there? It's got to be 25 by 40? 25 by 40, enough for 6 or 8 offices.
Might be 40 by 60.
Right. So you can see that they haven't really cleaned it much. It's been a few years that has been cleaned off since that's been cleaned. So that's concerning as well. But that's a walk around of the town hall here on the outside. We're live. What do you got? Yes, that's online. Here's the public hearing that we asked them to put on the bulletin board, and they are doing that now. That's awesome. That's really good. So that's all we've got going on right here. We'll go ahead and, can you hold those from falling for me, Carol? Set the camera up here, get ready to go for the meeting.
What's the matter, cold?
I'm not sure I'm cold, but I don't want to get cold either.
Yeah.
Hey, Don,
Yes,
do you know the call sign of the helicopter up here?
I don't. I think it's SOS. No
It
idea.
has to begin with N.
Does it?
Yeah. If it's U.S. registered, it has to begin with N.
Yeah,
That's the law.
So it'd be
Is
an
it?
N and a 4-digit number, right?
Or it can be a combination of letters and numbers.
or any.
Like mine is 6028 Alpha
Okay.
with an N in front of it.
Now, for me to get one, I probably have to have a plane, right? I'd have to have a plane
Yes,
if I
and
wanted to
Yeah, I
get.
don't know how they register drones, but they have to be registered
Yes.
too. But I don't know how they
Yeah, I
do
think
that.
only if they're over a certain size.
No, they want them registered, I think. I may be wrong.
I think the small toy drones, and like, unless the rules have changed, I don't know.
I don't know.
They have to be registered, but
So what's supposed to go on tonight?
this is just a regular zoning board meeting, and typically there's not much going on in a zoning board meeting unless they got somebody with a variance or something like that. Then they'll just meet and talk about whatever they've got going on. If there's something
Time's it
that's
start?
7.
Are they in there?
Not that I've seen.
So what are we gonna do about this new building?
Yeah, that's a toughie. I don't know what our options are, because like everything else, they're just gonna ram it through, you know.
Man, everybody's taxes are going up by significant amounts.
Exactly, and they're
Can't keep it up.
and it's gonna go up again
It's gonna be a ghost
when they
town.
do this new
That's
building.
what I mean.
When they do the new building, it's just gonna repeat.
I mean, the Foys moved out.
What?
The Foys, the big white house.
Oh, that,
Well, they're going to move out.
that
They're
one right
No,
there.
sold.
the next one down this way.
Oh, it's that way it
Yeah.
is? Yeah.
Yeah, and they've put so
200,
much.
it's already, yeah, it's pending.
Sold.
Oh, that's where the
Sold
Floyds
sign up
live.
on- Yeah.
Is that amazing? Yeah,
I don't know what their relation is to anybody in town.
we
but-
just did a quick.
So that's why they're leaving or what?
Well, we don't know.
No.
We don't know. I mean, they just may
Why'd
be.
the physician leave at the other end of town, on the other side?
I didn't know that one did.
Yeah.
Which house was that?
On that side of the road,
Uh-huh.
with a big garage with the steps going up to the second story. That was for sale for almost 400,000. That sold almost
that
right
brick?
away either. No. With a pool behind it.
It's on that side of the street or on this side?
That side, way down.
Oh, wait. No, that doesn't have the pool, the yellow one. That just sold.
But you can't see the pool.
Okay. So
It's
is
the
it
other
like,
side of
is
the
it like
house.
a bi-level and then a ranch attached to it? Kind of looks like that. And then it's got a garage, a two-story garage off the side. And
No.
then there's a little shed.
Well, this is a big garage.
Yeah, it's a big garage off the property.
On the
that
right
of the property,
side.
Yeah. And then
There's a
smaller
steps
shed.
that go up to the second floor.
Yeah. It's yellow, right?
I guess you'd call it that.
Yellow, gold, beige, whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it, yeah. I don't know why they sold. That used to be, gosh, what the heck was it? She used to be the costumer for the Historical Society.
I believe that every person that leaves the town should have an exit interview. I'm serious.
Well, it'd be nice
If
to.
you don't know why somebody's leaving, I think the town,
They'll tell you.
not the town board. I
Right,
think
but
the
just-
town should know why somebody's leaving.
And we got 4 properties on Main Street alone that are condemned. 4 frickin' properties.
Incredible. That's incredible.
I know Mudge's. Who's are the other?
The one next door to this,
And the trailer.
and the 2
Oh,
trailers.
Yeah, the 2 trailers. Yeah, well, those trailers should be taken
And
out a long
actually-
time ago.
Or maybe one condemned along here too, I'm not
Should be
sure.
that green one. Oh, the white one, the white bi-level that had the roof pulled off.
I think that's gonna be habitable, but I don't know where that is going.
'Cause that's the only house I can think of on this side. Other
Yeah.
than this green one.
Yeah, the one that had the house on.
Yeah, that would be the white
They had to
one.
clear out the asbestos.
That's how we do it.
You going to the rally
What rally?
Wednesday?
Trump rally.
Trump rally
Oh, I can't.
at Stanwix.
We'll go for you. We'll hold up a pic. I got a mask. Looks just like you. I'm gonna wear it.
No,
Regular
there's the Syracuse Dog Show.
Oh,
And I'll be tied up. What time is the rally?
I think it's 3 to 5.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't go. I got way too much to do.
Now see, I do the same.
And I'm even lucky I'm off because I work Mondays.
How the puppies doing?
We got one left. You got a home for it?
Oh,
You gotta
geez.
sell it. Like 3,000 at least.
I tried Jimmy.
Where do you
in this.
live?
Uh,
I tried to find your
Magnolia
street.
Drive. I tried Jimmy in this with
Where
one of
was
those
the
deep
street?
cleaner things, and I broke it
Across
off.
the bridge, first house, first street on the left after the fish hatchery. After the fish access.
Wait. Oh, so you gotta go down follow the river.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're right there?
Uh-huh, pretty much.
Oh.
Not too far.
I'm gonna have to sit up front, yeah. One side or the other. That's what you get, Mike? Yeah, you get it from now on, just so everybody's got a copy of the final. All right, yep, we do have a quorum, plus. All right, 7 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. Set the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. More or less, that's true. Either way, whatever works. Okay, I'm gonna give April a couple of minutes just to figure out who's here. We do have a quorum, we have a total of 5 members here. Okay, did all of the members get a copy of the minutes that was sent out by email from last month's meeting? Okay, did everybody have a chance to go over and review them? I know April asked to have comments come back on those.
And the only comments I've received were yours.
Okay, yeah, I just had a couple of minor changes
Yep.
anyway.
And those were updated in the draft that's posted.
Do you want me to email the response to the, after the meeting? If you need everybody, she gotta have a response from everybody as to,
No, I think we can have it orally here.
Yeah, we can do it orally here. If there were no other responses, other than those,
Your changes.
I don't,
yeah, other than the changes I made, and I believe that they went out to everybody after I suggested it. I know that was repeated. Here he comes. I'm glad not. It's over here. No.
No, you can front something like I got.
Sounds like a song.
If you do a lot better, if I was just sitting up
The back pews have already been filled, you gotta come up front. We were just going over the minutes from last month's meeting, did you get an email copy of them?
I didn't.
You did, okay, we need to make sure,
Supposed to get them from you, April?
need to make sure that April has your
Maybe
correct,
You got them, you
correct email.
responded?
Well, I think maybe well, it just could be a clerical error on my part.
Yeah, it would have been just a, less, it was only about a,
I sent them like the Friday after.
yeah, I was gonna say, it was just about 4 or 5 days after the last, after the
Yeah,
last
I
meeting,
asked
so I know
everybody
they- I
to
know they went
respond
out.
that you
Yeah.
got the email
Yeah.
and I sent the text.
I thought you meant like 2 days ago.
Oh, no.
No.
No, that was
I
long
read 'em.
ago. There's no new notes.
Okay, and I had 2 editorial changes that we made, and those went back out for everybody to review. If everybody is comfortable with it, do we have a motion to approve the minutes as amended from last meeting?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay.
Okay, I lost. You motioned and who seconded?
Mickey motioned, I second.
Thank
Okay,
you, the
sorry.
motion, Virginia gave the
I didn't
second.
look up.
We don't have any old business from the last meeting. We do have one item of new business tonight. It's going to be a little bit shortened, but I'll pass these out. We have an application for an area variance that I received from Scott. And I will pass the package out here. We have the Hoynakis who own the property. One of the pieces of property directly opposite the foot of Mullen Hill Road on Stokes Westernville Road. And part of what's in your package here, this is the application for the variance and what's required. It's basically a reduction in side yard. Okay, there is also a copy of the building permit that they filled out for Scott. There's a copy of the public notice for the public hearing that was sent out, I think, at least 2 weeks ago. You will also find a copy of the surveyor's map showing the property boundaries and where the new structures are going to go. You will also find a picture that Scott provided of pretty much the area where it is, so that you can see what's involved. And then I also captured the satellite view from the foot of Slide Hill Road, Mullen Hill Road. And you can see where the disturbed earth is the area where the new construction is going to go. Okay, now the problem we have, and Scott Bush, our codes officer, contacted me this morning and said he couldn't be here at the meeting tonight because he had to work. So I asked him a couple of questions, the first of which was whether or not the Hoynakis, and I think that's how you pronounce it, had gotten a letter from the Amadons, who are their immediate next door neighbors, who would be most affected by this area variance. In fact, they're the ones that sold them the property. Scott thought that they might have one. I do not have a copy of it. I don't know if Scott does either. The second item is I asked Scott if he had already completed the GML 239M approval request to the county, because this particular property borders on a county highway. So the county planning agency gets first right of refusal or comment on it. And unfortunately, he had forgotten to do that. So we can tonight, if we decide we want to, discuss this and just kind of take a look at it. I don't think, are the Hoynakis here? Nobody's here. And I think he told them that we wouldn't be able to rule on this till next month. The law does not allow us to vote on any kind of a variance until the county has given us a 239 approval on it. So the best we can do is take the application in hand. I just recommend take the package back with you so you can look it over, see if you have any questions involved. From my understanding, and I know where the property is, I've been around it. Their principal problem in locating, with trying to relocate the building to change the side yards is the terrain involved. And the front of the property is relatively narrow. There's an access driveway to another property that's next door. So the main topic here is they're only going to be about 14 feet off the side yard that borders with the Amadon property next door. My preference would be to hear from the Amadons to see whether or not they have a problem with it, which would involve them getting a letter. So I'm gonna suggest Scott tell them to please do that, so that we know that the neighbors have no objection. Beyond that, they're well set back from the road. They have more than adequate setback from the blue line on the back of the property. It's only this particular side yard that they're looking to vary. So if anybody, if you look this over and you decide you have any questions.
I have a question, Carl. Who's the neighbors?
Amadon.
Okay, didn't Amadon
They
come and got a request
They
from
they
us
came
to?
they came in and they got a side yard reduction for the new garage.
Isn't that right there?
They were gonna they were gonna tear down the old garage and put up the new one. So yeah, so we have.
So if we hadn't given them that one, then they would have had.
Well, no, you still have the property. The property line is
Yeah,
still
yeah.
the problem on the thing. So the real question there
If you can do it, I can do it.
for the area variance, if the two neighbors that are cutting their side yards down don't have a problem with it, I generally don't myself.
It's
And
funny, it's on the same side.
that's on the same property
Yeah.
line. Part of it was because of the way they divided the property. It's just,
Yeah.
they took a 2+ acre and divided it into two pieces.
But it was, we gave one a variance, and then
Yeah.
I thought that was what it was.
Yeah, so I wanted, at least since I knew we were all gonna be here, that I'll get a chance to hand it out to you, you can take it with you and look it over, and if you have any questions at all, we'll have the Heinekes here next week. We will hold the official, and and again, anytime we consider a variance, we are actually holding a public hearing. So there will be a new announcement that goes out for the next month's meeting that you'll see. And at that particular time, we'll hold the official public hearing. And it generally only takes about a week to get a 239 back, so we should have all of that filled out. Now, the final item on it, and I informed Scott of this, I took the liberty myself, because this is an application for variance, we also have to go through the environmental quality review. In this case, they have to fill out short environmental assessment form. And I've sent this off to Scott so he can see it. The first part of the form is supposed to be filled out by the people with the application. The second part, the ZBA would consider. What I will do is, I'm assuming that most of you don't have copies of this. I keep copies of everything I get from the state, but I will send this off to April, and then she can send it out so that you can see what's involved in the questions here on both of these. So the first one is the applicants fill out and identify any potential problems with the environment, and then the ZBA will review it, and on the second and third parts of the form, we review it and determine whether or not we think there's a hazard that needs to be mitigated. Generally speaking, for houses and stuff, there's not. The only time something might come into play is if you've got a septic system that could involve, something around the area. And then the third part is just our determination as to whether there's an environmental hazard or not. This is generally considered a type 2, and that's basically just a quick review and then a certification whether it meets the requirements or not. And that would go back to Scott as part of the overall paperwork. So that's what's involved in this one. You have a copy of this. This is my only copy of this one, but I'll send the PDF forms to April, and then she can forward them to everybody else on the board so that we'll have a copy of them.
So that's a completed form or it's a blank?
This is partially completed. I went through it and I looked at all of the questions, and based on the application and their plans, I can answer most of the questions. The one I cannot answer is whether the project complies with the energy code requirements, and that's something Scott has to determine. So I sent that off to him, and he will make that formal determination. That's because that's a code issue and not a zoning issue. We don't consider those things. And having been through a lot of energy code training for my license, I would not wish that on the board to have to do that. That's the codes officer's job.
These numbers, that's
Those are
elevations.
Yeah.
So they're 120 feet off the lake,
Yeah, they're quite a bit, well, that's the vertical
Off the-
elevation.
or 120.
Oh, yeah, that's the 120 feet off there, and that's,
Or off the blue
this
line.
thing did produce, off the blue line on the thing,
Okay.
so yeah. So that, like I said, their side setbacks are where they have the problems. So if anybody has any questions on this,
What's, isn't there something in the zoning when you add up the sides of this and that, and if it adds up to a certain amount, then you can take away from one side and,
yeah, you can balance the two sides out as long as it's not excessive.
but 20 is the minimum, supposed to.
Right,
So they're kind of pinched on
they're kind of pushing the limit there,
on
yeah,
here too.
Oh, both sides, you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
on both sides of it.
What, they have a house, you have a breezeway and another house?
That's, yeah, that was a little interesting to me too, that there's two sections of the house joined by this little narrow way there, way in between there.
Two-family?
I don't think so.
I mean,
It
you
wa-
could
it was not identified as such.
I mean, you could shorten up that breezeway a little bit. I don't know what,
Yeah,
I don't know
well,
why that.
I can ask Scott if he has the floor plan to find out, what that's all about.
I mean, if that's,
Those are both new construction?
It's all new construction.
Oh my, yeah, that is unusual.
You have to shorten up that breezeway. We would
Yeah,
do
and
it.
I don't even know that it's a breezeway. I'm not even sure the purpose of it, because I don't have any actual construction plans or design plans to be able to tell you what that is. That was a question that I had as well,
That's huge.
yeah.
as to what that thing actually is.
It's his and
Yeah,
hers.
that's what.
Yeah.
That could be, that could be.
It's like those little aliens and the
Yeah.
actor guy goes, "Do you want a one?"
It's a mother-in-law plan.
Is Bob coming?
Bigger on the inside than it is on
I
the
see,
outside.
I see there's a porch, so I'm assuming that's for a rocking chair.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, that would look out over the lake, I'm sure.
If that breezeway is excessive,
Yeah, we'd have to see what it is, and we can ask that question. And I'll post it to Scott, so maybe we can get an answer before, if he's
would
actually
that
got
be a
floor plans.
problem if the pitch of these roofs, if this is short and they go right, like, they would go right at each other?
And I have no way of knowing how they've got the roofs pitched or anything.
Well, if this is 25 feet, that's 25 feet.
Yeah, I
don't
wouldn't
think this is
count on
on
that
the
whole thing
scale.
being exactly the scale.
I don't think it is. Can't
It's a
be.
mother-in-law plan.
Yeah.
Keep her far enough
That could be,
away.
So I said there's a porch on the back, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
and it doesn't have a garage.
Yeah, actually, that one, this one up in front here is the garage here.
Right, so that's
Yeah.
a younger person. and
Yeah,
this
so
is-
that may be an accessory one, but I will pose that question to Scott to see if he actually has the
All right,
plans.
that's,
How do you
Yeah.
spell Amadon?
Amidon,
M-A-I-D-O-N, thank you.
Hey.
Amidon, Amidon.
A-M-I-D-O-N.
Yeah, and actually off the eastern property boundary, if you look at that first picture there, that driveway actually is the access to the piece of property that's on the lake next door to them. So there's pavement that goes in, which is the old one, and then there's an additional driveway. You probably best see it in the overhead view in that last
well,
picture.
there's your circle.
Yeah. Yeah, but this goes down and over to another campus down on the lake. You can see it in this one.
Kind of, you see it with this.
So what you're looking at here is the pavement, and this is the driveway accessing the campus down here.
Right there.
Right. I'm not sure that's the camp, but I know it goes down that direction. Yeah, there's something down there on the lake, yeah. And this is the pavement that you see where that circular driveway shows up on the
So where's
on the
house
actual
go?
plan.
Here?
Right where those two dozers are.
Yeah.
Oh, down below.
Basically there, yeah.
All right. Well, they're gonna have a nice view.
Yep.
Good for them.
So anyway, that's where we stand with that. We can't take a vote on it tonight. So I I'm just gonna table it till next month, and we will take up the issue then as old business.
So Scott's gonna get a letter?
Pardon?
Scott's gonna get this letter from the neighbor?
Yeah, actually, the people who are gonna build it need to get the letter from the neighbor saying they have no objection to that being that close to the sideline. And they'll bring it to Scott, he will send it to us.
And then Scott's gonna tell them about the 239?
He will, no, Scott has, you had the 239 you actually do online, he'll put in the details of the project and they just look at it and
These are.
normally they'll come back and say, no, we don't have any objection because you're not doing anything particular.
This size of construction, that includes the garage? 1664?
Generally not, generally it just includes living space.
If those two are the same, it's gonna be fairly small house.
Yeah, it's not very big, yeah.
800 feet each.
Now, is that considered a driveway or
What's that?
to this property? Is there more than one house back in there?
Yeah, there's actually a couple of them back in there, so it may be a common right of way.
You know if the county keeps a database of all 239s issued?
Their official records, I would think they do.
Yeah. Is it something just offhand that's accessible online or
Yeah, you'd have to go to the county planning
planning department?
department
and
and ask if they have those things
Yeah.
available.
yeah.
So they've cleaned this site, they're ready to go.
Yep, it's cleaned up and ready to start digging. I don't know if they're putting in basements or what, but, I mean, the other issue that Scott has to consider that's not up to us is how they're gonna do their septic system and where they're gonna get their water from.
Mhm. Long hose straight that way.
Yeah, well, that area drains beautifully, so. It's one of the few areas of the town that actually has good drainage for septic systems.
Mine
Yours has good? Yeah, yours is pretty decent.
does. Excellent.
So anyways, anybody have any other new business? Okay, if not, this will be a fairly quick meeting. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Wow.
Mickey move to adjourn. Bill seconds. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you next month, which would be April,
Oh, you said meeting next week,
not next week, next month. We don't meet next week.
but I mean, yeah, I didn't,
We will
I thought
take.
maybe you're gonna do a special meeting.
No, we take action on this, next month.
Next meeting,
Right. And the owners are aware of that.
okay.
So that would be April 22nd, 7 PM, fourth Monday.
We'll be here,
Yeah, vacation day?
week before.
Week before. Jeez. It's sad how you overworked.
You run in my shoes someday, you'll see.
Is that sarcasm?
Yes.
I
She's
never
nasty.
even picked up on it, I'm
She's-
sorry.
She's mean.
That's what my kids tell me.
Mean old grandma.
It's all right. Someday you'll have kids and grandkids, and then you'll find out what it means.
Yeah. Yep. So did Trumpy come up with his,
Well, the appeals
Cash?
court reduced the amount of the bond.
how much?
They cut it back to about a third of what he was gonna have to pay. It was like
third?
a $175 million bond he was gonna be required to post.
I just like to know where they come up with that number.
Did he pay that
Where
part?
did the number come from? I mean, come on.
Who knows?
Come on.
I found, last night I was watching a little talk show and they were talking about, okay, if he didn't come up with the money, where's he gonna come up with it?
He's not going to.
And they said, and they brought it up, Trump Tower, that he brags about that he owns. He does not own nothing of it, except for the land it's on. That's it.
Most of his property.
Strictly the land it's on.
Most of his properties are mortgaged.
But quite frankly, he doesn't have to pay any of it because he'll keep it in court long enough that they'll, I mean, quite frankly, you gotta prove what you're asking. I've never heard of you saying, I'm gonna just get this number.
Right.
You gotta show
liability.
They'll be out there doing this for the next 5 months.
Well, he said online that he had 500,000 in cash over the weekend.
Well, even then his lawyer said, no, he doesn't.
500 million.
No, he doesn't.
But the thing is, you can't get to, I mean, he's got his legal fund last out there. There's people that are giving to it.
People give him money.
A lot of people are very confident.
Yeah, and what'll happen now, assuming he pays this bond, that, it freezes any action on his property.
You can borrow more money on it.
He could probably borrow more money on
I
it.
think it's it'll be so long before he gets it.
It'll take 2 years before this thing gets through with the appeals court.
I think that everyone should.
But in the meantime, however,
We're getting shortchanged
still
right now.
have you're sitting there watching over it. So
Yeah,
that
the court.
Which is fine.
Which I think that's a good idea. That way he doesn't have 2 years to,
Enough.
move ownership out of the state. So much
Not hanging that.
No, I'm just saying, no, we have to pay
Just now.
the taxpayer. Everybody thinks
When he
it's
said that,
the government, but it's us.
I don't necessarily like everything everybody says, but I gotta say.
I don't come before I got out the door.
Well, that's that.
That would be a nasty night. Well, everybody have a blessed Easter.
I'll run over to Easter.
Never.
no, well done.
I said, you usually make me pay
But, yeah, it's in the corner.
The nor'easter coming, or not a nor'easter, but whatever it is.
Other Carl, are we gonna, do we get to see the paperwork for that variance request at some point in time?
I can post it on the website.
But what I'm saying is, if there's gonna be a public hearing, so will we have advance access to that, or only at the public hearing, or maybe we'll see it at the public
Strictly
hearing?
speaking, you should request the information from Scott, because he's the one that makes the official referral to us, and he would officially have all of the paperwork. But I assembled it from what he sent me.
So I'm trying to get the procedure down so that I know, based on the way public hearings are supposed to go, we should have the documentation that is going to be reviewed by the zoning board for whatever is the public hearing is for, so that the public can see that
You're
paperwork.
probably right. It should be out there so that anybody who wants to.
Yeah, now,
look at
now,
it.
New York State has a requirement that it needs to be out at least 24 hours in advance of the meeting.
Yeah.
Now, that's just the minimum, so I'm saying the town could go with a minimum, or the town could help the people and say, hey, why not just post it to the website as soon as we post the notice for the public hearing? Now, I don't know if they posted that, but they did post the notice for the public
The
hearing.
public hearing was posted. Yeah, I didn't have
But
all the
it's-
paperwork from Scott. He finally sent it to me.
Then I
so.
have to check to see if it's on the Towpath website, because the only public hearing on the Towpath website is the April 8th hearing for the zoning ordinance.
Oh, they did schedule that?
Yes.
Okay, see, I hadn't seen that.
That's for the 8th, and that is,
Okay.
that's the public.
That's on the.
But
that's-
so I'm looking for a public notice for this variance online that would have the paperwork that you guys reviewed tonight, so that the public can review it, so that they can have input in the public hearing.
Yeah,
Okay? But I don't know if you're responsible for that, or if the town board is responsible for that, but somebody's got to be responsible for putting it up for the people to see.
Yeah, I mean, strictly speaking, the ZBA doesn't have that. It's it should be the town clerk when she posts the notice. She should have requested either from me or Scott, what paperwork are you going to be considering? And then we would provide that to her, and then she would post it. I mean, that's my understanding is officially that's the way it's supposed to work.
All right. Well, I'm just looking for seeing that sometime soon.
No, in fact, it occurred to me today when I was putting the thing together. I said, this probably should have been on the website.
Right. Okay.
It's available.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
It's a shame to see stuff fall in disrepair.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I went around, took a video of everything. Everything. There's holes. Look at the bad holes.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff going
Yeah.
in. And what they're saying that's kind of odd is they're saying, well, you know, regardless, hold this, Carol. Regardless as to whether or not we build a new building, right there,
You're still gonna have to take care of this one.
and they know that. So it's not like they're saving any money by not repairing it.
Right.
So why aren't they repairing it? It makes no sense to us. It makes no sense to Carol and I.
Pay what I'm told to pay.
Maybe that's something we need
It's 10 grand, maybe more, to get somebody
Yeah.
in there and clean it up.
It would be a shame because
And take everything,
it's
take
a
it
Queen
away.
Anne cottage.
Well, that's the end of
That
the
house
meeting
was a
this
Queen
week.
Anne cottage.
We've got,
Yeah.
we did spend a few minutes
but
with
it's gone, you can't
Carl
repair it.
The front half you still
asking
could save.
about the
Oh, that's
plans
how
that
you
would be
want it.
available
I
for
know.
this
They'll do.
variance.
I know.
It's kind of a
Where's your
surprise
house
to
now?
them
You're on-
how to do this in order to kind
Oh,
of
okay.
get that information in the hands of the public so that the
Oh,
public
right,
can
okay, yeah,
actually
now I know. Sorry.
see these plans.
I didn't
It
connect
is,
you with your...
it is a public hearing.
Yeah, she's the old member.
It is a public hearing, so in a public hearing, we need to have the documents that are necessary to review the paperwork for the public hearing. And tonight, my question was, why didn't we have it tonight? Why didn't somebody on the board pass us one of those documents around to the public to see what was going on with that? That was a bit concerning to me. I know if I were up there, I'd say, hey, look, anybody out there interested in looking at this? Here, take a
That's what
copy.
they want to do.
But that's not the way the town works here in Westford. They would prefer to keep everything under wraps and give you that 30 minutes before the meeting to look at that
Nobody's living
plan
in it,
and
right?
kind of, you know, make your cause, if you will, at that
I mean,
point.
it looks like it's a
So,
cute little structure.
In any case, Carl's going to try to get that information for this particular variance that was requested tonight for the property on Stokes Westernville Road and Mullen Hill Road online for us to see.
Yeah, I want
We'll
to be
start
able to use this
the
structure.
stopwatch, see how long that takes for that to pop up. If it ever does pop up, it may not. We'll see.
Upstairs is gorgeous.
But I guess it'll be interesting to see now that they know that the public is indeed aware of what's happening and is asking for that information, whether or not it will show up. If it doesn't, that's not going to shed a very good light on things. If it does show up, that's going to be awesome. That's what we want, is the public of Western to be informed as we're supposed to be informed with respect to New York State, and common courtesy with respect to what the town should be doing for the public.
This first started,
Okay, so that's it. The end of the meeting.